Hi folks, I wanted to try to give you a little bit of a prep for our two new readings, one in English Studies and one in Transforming English Studies. I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath now. These might be tough chapters. One, because for many of you, linguistics might be a new area of exploration and a new area of exploration in English. So again, take your time and take a breath. I give you permission as you're reading to stop, look things up, possibly throw the book across the room, or just take a break. You will encounter lots of information in both of these texts, particularly in the English Studies text this week. You're going to get a vast amount of information as the author tries to give a history, a series of terminology, as well as information on positions of linguistics and the author's own work applying linguistic methodologies such as discourse analysis to a research study in the medical field. That will probably be a little bit all over the place for you, and that's okay. If you get to places where you're getting a little fuzzy, a little tired, you might just want to skim for a little bit and come back to it. The key to both of these chapters is getting a sense of what linguistics is in a general sense and an understanding of what it might do for you. A lot of people feel like they aren't linguists. So I'm just going to talk about a few of the cool things that linguistics does. And what you've been staring at is a sample entry from the Oxford English Dictionary. One thing that linguistics helps us do is chart the history of words, and the OED is one source, the main source that helps us do that. The other thing that understanding linguistics does is give us a vast array of terminology, ways to talk about language, such as phonetics, the study of speech sounds, specific types of phonetics, morphology, the study of the structure or form of words, all the way into understanding what dialect means. Linguistics, through some of the concepts and theorists such as Ferdinand de Saussure, who is introduced in our reading this week, and Noam Chomsky. They're kind of the godfathers of linguistics. We know that through Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky, while it may read like gibberish, we can actually make sense of it because of our naturally pre-programmed and then learned understanding of how language works. So linguistics helps us realize why can we identify the subject, the verb, the adjectives in a piece of writing that doesn't use words that we normally use. One of my favorite aspects of linguistics is dialects and the various dialects across the United States. Here's a cool quiz that I've included in your activities, kind of self-quiz stuff that I think you'll enjoy participating in. This was a part of a Harvard dialect survey, a linguistics project that was done a while ago. And this will just help you see about the types of words that you use and what they might say about you and where you're from. See how accurate they are. So while linguistics can be really overwhelming, particularly the ways that these two chapters deal with it, put it in perspective, try on something, and see what's interesting to you. For me, linguistics, particularly sociolinguistics, and even more particularly critical discourse analysis, were the methodology and data analysis methods that I used in my dissertation. And what I did was study how teachers of writing at the high school level talked about and conceptualized writing and how they enacted those concepts in their classroom. And I observed and recorded language, and I used the language to answer my research questions, or at least try to present ideas toward those questions. And critical discourse analysis allowed me to do things like create stanzas and push on the language and really isolate it in order to make sense of how the teachers were thinking about the things that they were teaching in relationship to writing. So it is a very broad area within English studies. And I didn't even get into additional aspects like TESOL, teaching English as a second language. So if you're struggling this week as you're reading, don't fret. It makes sense. A lot of traditional undergraduate students don't get linguistics as a course or as an area of study. But I want you to put on this lens for this week and see what you see. I hope you can find some enjoyment, and if not, I hope you can work through it and come out still feeling good about the class and these texts this week.